Hey, how's it? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. on the islands, 8 p.m. over there on the East Coast. It is time for Chatter with Statter. Welcome to the StatterBox, my friends. Excellent. It looks like we've got Michael Anthony Smith in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I'm not so sure you'll be hanging out for the entire show. I know that you've got to get up at dark 30, so I am just glad that you can come in and say hi, hang out for as long as you possibly can. We definitely want to see you joining the crew, but I understand if life gets in the way and you gotta go night. Looks like Ann Ware's in the house and Elaine as well. Good to see you both. Ann, I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods, but Elaine, I'm really glad to see you. I'm hoping to see Rick. I'm hoping to see Darlene. It sounds like you've got some very serious weather heading your direction, and I want to make sure, or I can't make sure, but it's nice to see that you at least are safe enough at the moment to be able to tune in. And it looks like Rick is here, which tells me Rick still has power, which makes me very happy because according to, oops, you know what? Hold on. Before we get into this, let's get into this, shall we? That's right. We've got to do the Lono music situation here. So let me know if the audios are good. But yeah, Rick, Wednesday here already. Time flies. And I noticed that Darlene posted on the internet today. Let's see if I can find what it is that I'm talking about. Excuse all the reflections. That's just my white screen. But it looks like Darlene posted about an hour ago, Wisconsin getting hit with huge storms, winds 60 to 70 miles with thunderstorms and possible severe threat of even tornadoes. Starting around 9 p.m. Central Time, so it's still a couple hours to go before it majorly hits. But the storm is now in Iowa and tornado warnings are already there already. So if our friends Rick and Darlene and quite possibly Elaine suddenly disappear, don't take offense, everybody. They have to go get safe or else their power went down. I hope that you guys are able to keep cozy. So it looks like, hey, PapiChaney also in the house. Fantastic. It looks like right now Rick says the weather's only wind, no rain, nothing yet. Check back after 10 p.m. All right. Ann, okay, see, I figured you were in their neck of the woods. So Ann says there's a tornado watch here, but no warning yet. You've got a basement, so it'll all be okay. Fantastic. And Cindy Krause in the house, keeping us all warm here. Cool. Fantastic. So I'm very happy to see the Midwest crew showing face without being locked in their cellar right now, at least. I saw a video just before I clicked go, and it looks like the wind is a blowing through the Midwest off the mountains there and over the plains. So hopefully it won't get nearly as bad as they anticipated, but it's good to know that everyone seems to be aware of the situation and prepared. All right, so that makes me very, very happy. Now, I have to admit, I came into this stream today, not into the stream, but I came into today not knowing anything about what this stream would be about. But like a fairy godmother, this mysterious, handsome pilot from down in California, he dropped an airdrop right into my lap. That's right, PapiChaney. He gifted me with a phenomenal video that I thought I would share with you all. So, without further ado, let's see what Papi had today to show us down in California.
Hello, Matt Statter and the Chatter Statter crew. PapiChaney here. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of December. Thought I'd give you a quick holo of the Hemet Ryan Cal Fire air attack base. This is one of 18 bases, both air attack and helicopter bases in the state of California. And Hemet is located in it's central Riverside County in Southern California. What you're looking at there is an OV-10 Bronco. That's the air attack, or people on the outside call it the spotter plane. There's a Sikorsky helicopter. We have an S2 air tanker, another S2 air tanker, and a Huey helicopter, a Bell Huey helicopter. And you can see off in the distance, those are the mountains surrounding Big Bear and Arrowhead Lake in Southern California. It rained here a couple inches, and up in the mountains, they obviously got quite a bit of snow. Anyways, just a quick tour here of a base that I seem to spend time at here in the wintertime. Our bases down here are in the south are open year-round because unfortunately fire season in the south never seems to go away. Even after a day when we get a couple inches of rain, if we get some Santa Ana easterly winds within a couple days, unfortunately the vegetation will be ready to burn again. All right, everybody, have a great time, and I hope everything's good. And if I don't have a chance to say it, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever you happen to celebrate. I wish you nothing but a safe and happy holiday season.
All right, it looks like a bunch of people came into the chatterbox as we were watching that video. So Thomas the Turtle, great to see you. And Cindy Krause, I know, right? There is snow on the mountains, which makes me so very happy. Bacola T, you didn't get to see this video since you're listening in the car, but that's okay. I'm going to be throwing out this video every once in a while because it's really beautiful scenery. The snow in the background mountains versus the much drier landscape, unlike anything that we really have here on the west side of the mountains in Washington. So it's quite lovely. And Elaine, I'm not sure if you're still here. I see that you your connection is going in and out. So if you have to drop out, I totally understand, but thanks for trying to hang in there. I hope you get to hang out for the whole show, but we know it is completely out of your control at this point. Let me get that music started again. I wasn't sure about the music level versus PapiChaney's levels, and so I just decided to turn that music off for the time being. And I hope the audio level was okay. It looked like it was acceptable, but I'm not wearing any ear monitors, so sorry about that. If I blasted you out of your chairs, you guys, I am so sorry about that. So, Thomas the Turtle, Terry in Scotland has a movie going, Hoot Man. Never heard of Hoot Man, but it's like you're reading my notes, my friend. Talk about the best segue ever. You guys, I took some notes last night and I figured out with everything that we've got. So, we have got movies lined up until after February. Until after, what's that holiday in February? Till after Valentine's on February. Now, 2 of the movies that I have scheduled, I still need to find them, but they're scheduled like way further down the way, and I'll have plenty time to get them. But in the Thomas Turtle's Hoot Man is a Scottish expression, not the title of the movie. Got it. Okay. So, but check this out, you guys. All right. So, hold on. Let's find my notes. I gotta find my notes. Where's my notes? There we go. Okay. So, we had Gremlins last week, right? No, we're gonna have Gremlins this week. Yeah, we're gonna have Gremlins this week. This Saturday, it's gonna be Gremlins for StatterBox at the cinema. And then, of course, as we all know, The Ref is gonna be on December 25th. Then I figured, even though it's an end of the school year movie, it's also like the beginning of summer. It's the beginning of... And so New Year's Day, we're going to be watching Dazed and Confused, and I have to thank Kenny from the Cove for that particular movie. And then what we're going to do the week after that is we're going to watch Moana. Andre sent me Moana the other day, earlier this week. So we're going to be sharing that with StatterBox at the cinema. And so that'll be like the first week in the new year. And then after Moana, I finally found my copy of Whale Rider. So we're going to be doing Whale Rider. And then after Whale Rider, we've got Bad News Bears on the schedule. And then Andre sent another movie called The Descendants. Now, I've never seen this movie. It's a George Clooney movie. And, but it takes place on Hawaii. So if nothing else, it'll have a lot of beautiful scenery. And I read the plot, and it actually sounds like it might not be a bad movie. So there you go. And then, hopefully, now this is one of the movies I need to find. On February 5th, sorry guys, it's as close as I can get. I was thinking we could do Groundhog's Day. Or maybe we can do it like the week before Groundhog's Day. Anyway, Groundhog's Day for the StatterBox right around that time of year. And then Kenny from the Cove sent over a movie that is a comedy called The Proposal. I think it's got Ryan Reynolds and the chick from Speed. I'm not going to tell you her name. Not like because I want to keep it a secret, but mostly because I can't remember. But anyway, the chick from Speed, sorry, I can't remember what her name is. So yeah, anyway, it's a comedy, and apparently it's very funny. I have not seen it. And then the week after that, I want to, and this is another movie I need to find, I want to show you The Best Man. It is one of my favorite movies ever. And so that brings us basically well into February for our StatterBox at the cinema lineup. Oh, I was very happy to get some of that in the mix. So maybe put Home Alone in the movie mix. I don't have a copy of Home Alone, and so if I get it, then we definitely can. But right now, I figured I was putting together the list of things that I actually had on hand, and I was able to go pretty far out. Like I said, the only two that I'm missing are the Groundhog's Day and the other one. But I have a feeling that by February 2nd, we'll be able to find Groundhog's Day. So let's see here. Okay, Michael Anthony Smith, I did not expect you to hang out for very long. In fact, I'm just impressed you're even able to stay up late enough to say hi. So have a good night. I know you've got the earliest of early days, so sleep well, sleep well. So let's see here. Gremlins? Yeah, Gremlins will be this week, and then Menahoonie next week. Well, some could say that the ref is maybe works of Menahoonies, but no, it'll be Gremlins, and then it'll be the ref. And then let's see here. And where I love Whale Rider as well, and I'll tell you what, I tore up. I knew I had a copy somewhere. I knew it was someplace, right? And I thought I knew where it was, and I tore that bookshelf up. And I mean, I cleaned out behind the bookshelf because it was like, well, it must have fallen behind. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was in my pantry and I was putting away groceries and I was like, what's in this box? And it was a bunch of DVDs, and Whale Rider was one of them. So I don't know why the DVDs were in the pantry. I'm sure it made sense at the time. I can say that if I put them someplace safe, I sure did, because I never would have thought to look there for them. Oh well, so there you have it, Rabbit. So Picola T, your cell service sucks, keeps buffering and frozen. Oh, that's so annoying. But I do believe if luck is still having it the way it's been, I am broadcasting out at 720, which means in theory that little gear might be there and it might actually be able to downgrade. I have no idea if that's the case or not, but fingers crossed that is available to you, maybe, hopefully. I don't think I can get any higher than that. So, and where? Okay, so The Descendants is a great movie. The book is even better, of course. The author was in your graduating class year in college. Interesting. Oh, Rick, thank you, Sandra Bullock. Thank you. Sandra Bullock is the one who stars with Ryan Reynolds in the movie called The Proposal. Kenny from the Cove donated the proposal to StatterBox at the cinema, and we will be watching it on February, I think 12th. I'm not sure. Whatever the StatterBox at the cinema that's closest to Valentine's Day is, that'll be the day we're watching it. Yeah, there we go. And let's see here. Oh no, really, Cindy Krause? So the gear is there, but it now only is at 720. Oh, I don't understand. Okay, I guess it's just hit or miss then, if we get to adjust or not. I really wish that they had gooder reasonings than what they do with the gear. All right. Thomas the Turtle. Okay, so everybody seems to think that the music track or the music soundtrack from The Descendants is really good, and Clooney is always an interesting actor to watch. Obviously I'm going to check out the soundtrack, but I don't know if it's just because of who I am in regards to like the age and demographic that I fall into, but George Clooney, I can't help but think of The Facts of Life when I see George Clooney. And I don't mean like The Birds and the Bees. I mean like, you know, Blair and Tootie and Joe and Natalie and Mrs. Garrett. The TV show, The Facts of Life. Do you know why I think of that? Does anyone know why I think of that when I think of George Clooney? Hey, Pinnell, good to see you sliding on in. Rick, yes, it should be 4:20 in about 3 minutes according to my clock, but alas, you will not catch me. Actually, it'll be 5:20 in my clock, so, 4:20 is already come and gone in my neighborhood. So let's see here. Yes, okay, Ann Ware knows exactly why. Because George Clooney, that was one of his first acting gigs on television, I believe. His little, his curly-haired mullet was one of the later additions to the cast when they had already graduated, I believe, from the boarding school, and we're still living together with Mrs. Garrett, running the catering business that they had. Because here's the deal. I watched that show a lot. Like I said, kind of my demographic. So when I think of George Clooney, I think of The Facts of Life. But Thomas the Turtle, your favorite George Clooney movie is Oh Brother, We're Out There. Honestly, I have to say it probably is my favorite too. In fact, I can hardly think of any other George Clooney movie that I've ever seen. I know he's been in a million, but I think you guys also know I don't really watch a lot of movies. Whereas I've seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like, well, I don't even know how many times, right? And the soundtrack for that movie is phenomenal. That's one of the few movies that I actually went out and bought the soundtrack for. I have it on CD over on my rack. That's right. Yes, exactly, Anne. You're obviously clearly in my same demographic. It was the last edition with the catering and candy store. That is exactly right. That is 100% right. Speaking of all the things that are coming StatterBox at the cinema way, I did want to Ann, you're right. Yeah, Dapper Dan hair pomade for Oh Brother, Well Out There. Yes, that is exactly what it was Dapper Dan. Dippity Doo. Now, we've already talked about Dippity Doo on this channel. Dippity Doo came, I think, a little bit later than Dapper Dan. But yeah, anyway. So, one thing, if you were here last week, you might have noticed that I was wearing a brand new black t-shirt that actually had, like, sleeves and stuff. And it was a Bucc-ee shirt, and Bucc-ee's is a, I still don't know what Bucc-ee's is. Is it a rest stop? Is it a convenience store? Is it a truck stop? Is it something? It's something. But it's huge, and it's like got foods, and it's got, it's got a bunch of things. Hey, Medium 7 Up, good to see you here. So anyway, Kenny sent me a t-shirt with Bucc-ee's, and he wanted me to show the back, but I've completely spaced the last couple days, and I don't know if Kenny's in the house, but he's missing out if he's not. So on the back of the Bucc-ee shirt, which by the way, I cannot explain to you how awesome this flippin' Bucc-ee shirt is. Super soft, and like the graphic isn't, you know how sometimes it's like thick and vinyl-y and like you're afraid it's gonna peel off of the fabric? Like this is like part of the fabric, you know, it's that kind of printing or whatever. Someone who knows more about these kind of things can tell me, like, you know, what it actually is. But either way, super comfy shirt, and on the back it's peace, love, and Buck. Here, oh, there we go. Oh, that was way, way, way harder than it should be. Yeah. So we got the beautiful shirt, and Andre also, by the way, Kenny's not the only one who's been sending gifts to StatterBox. Andre was listening last week about my cookies that I like, and he sent me a little thing of digestives when he sent Moana and The Descendants. So, yeah. So I'll be sharing Moana and The Descendants with you guys, but unfortunately, the cookies, I'm gonna keep those all for myself, just so you know. And let's see here. Devin, good to see you. I knew somebody snuck in and I didn't say hello. So Devin, yes, good to see you. And yeah, meet him 7-Up. I got Moana. I don't think you were here when we went through, but StatterBox at the cinema is actually like pretty much set up through mid-February, and Moana is gonna be on the schedule for the first week of January. So like New Year's Day, I'm going to do Dazed and Confused. Christmas Day, I'm kind of working backwards now. Christmas Day, I'm going to do The Ref. Next week is going to be Gremlins. But then, so after New Year's Day is then, you know, January 7th. So January 7th, I think, will be when Moana is. Or the closest day if I'm off, because I don't have a calendar open. I don't know if that's the 7th is actually a Saturday, but I think it might be. So that's when we're going to be doing Moana. And I was very happy to know, or to realize that I had so many movies at my disposal thanks to all of the StatterBox crew. Because let me tell you, I don't have very many DVDs, which should not surprise any of you. And as I said earlier, the one DVD that I did know I had, Whale Rider, well, I had that in a safe spot in the pantry with the rice and stuff, because that's where you store your DVDs. You put them in the pantry. I don't know. Yeah, Darlene. Okay, so Rick, I was wondering where Darlene was, and I'm not at all surprised that she's running around finding candles and getting water bottles ready for the storm tonight. I hope that her running around is absolutely for no good reason, but better safe than sorry, that is for certain. Yeah, you guys see this, seriously, me storing, if there ever was a time for the haha emote, finding the DVD in the pantry next to, you know, the emergency dog food and the, you know, secondary bags of flour and rice. Yeah, that's where the DVDs go, right? Yeah, haha, what are you thinking? So yeah, there you go. Oh, and speaking of emotes, yes, exactly, Rick. Precisely. Thank you. I needed that. And speaking of emotes, I'm going to be having a new and improved Super Stoked emote available soon. Basically, it'll be available as soon as Twitch approves it. It's been in the approval process for about 12 hours now, so who knows when it'll get shown up. But we're going to have a new and improved Super Stoked. It'll be a little bit bolder, a little bit brighter, a little bit easier to read because it'll have an outline. And I realize that I should probably focus on creating new emotes rather than improving old emotes. But since I'm so completely stupid at graphic design, right now, just like putting a fancy outline on something that already exists is sort of where I'm at. So eventually we'll be getting some new ones. But you know, I'm not so sure when or how soon. Although I do have, the turkey picture that I showed a few streams ago. I'm thinking about making that some kind of emote, and I've already got it like cut out and everything. And I was very proud of myself learning how to cut things out, because my graphic artist knowledge is next to none. And thanks to Option and Shock, I am slowly gaining ground. Emphasis on the word slowly. Oh, Darlene, there we go. Good to see you. Finally here. Sorry you're late. Don't be sorry. Rick filled us in on the weather, as did you. I saw your post on Facebook earlier. And as I suggested to everyone at the beginning of the stream, I'm glad to see you here. I would love to see you here for the entire stream. But if you suddenly disappear, I'm not going to take offense. You don't need to explain why you suddenly had to go someplace else, because either your power went out or some sort of tornado warning happened and you decided to head on to the basement because you got to go when you got to go. So excellent. You guys have the snacks are in the basement. So there you go. Right. You're already prepped for basement dwelling. Good. Devin, well now, you're putting a bright spin. When the power goes out, that's the time to eat the ice cream before it melts or before it freezes. Wait, I think you got that backwards. But yeah, I am very glad though, Darlene, that you are here and that you have found all the candles, found all the blankies, found all the flashlights, and found everything you needed to find to make yourself feel like you're maybe prepared. Maybe prepared is basically all you can ask at this point. So, yeah, Devin, exactly. Wait, hold on. Yes, before it melts. Well, I was thinking it might be so cold there that you could actually put it outside to let it freeze. But then I was like, but wait, if it's anyway, yeah, my brain kind of short-circuited on that one for just a second. Rick, what is Darlene baking right now? Yeah, Darlene's always baking. What is Darlene baking now? I gotta know. Let's see here. Anne says the storm front is looking like it'll arrive here around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, so it's a little ahead of schedule. All prepped here, except for getting Reggie Bird in the basement if need be. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, definitely probably don't want to. I would imagine, okay, now here's what I don't know what I'm talking about, but for the most part, birds probably like to stay warm, right? I mean, at least the ones that have been kept inside. So yeah, you don't want to take them to the basement unless you have to, because the basement's going to be kind of chilly, right? And how do you, tell me about how you take care of your bird if he's in the basement. I mean, obviously, I've got so many questions. I guess my question is, do you have a heat source in the basement? That's really where I'm at, what I'm asking. Oh, okay, cool, Rick. Storms are a whole state away right now. Sometimes Lake Michigan pushes them away. Okay, well, maybe it'll veer somewhere else, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really know what I want to have happen with that. Can the storm just die down? Because, I think you guys are probably, unlike the storm that happened earlier this week, like in California, that PapiChaney was talking about, and that Cindy Krause made reference to, the, a couple inches of rain in Southern California. Well, that's big news. Put snow in the mountains and everything. I mean, they need their storms, but you don't need the storms. Like, right? Can we just have it go away? So sometimes you put the whole cage in the basement. Other times you just put him in his carrier. Okay. Patrick, preheat the oven to 420. Oh, no. I don't think the birdie likes to be kept that warm. Oh, right on. So in Minnesota, the basements need to be heated. It's chillier than the rest of the house, though. you'll go down and play some pinball. Oh, well, hey, yeah, that sounds perfect. And yeah, exactly, Anne. Hey, that's exactly it. Hey, Patrick, we don't need to turn on the oven. No birdies in the oven. And also, Patrick, I think that he's probably too small. So, like, first off, he would only be a mouthful. And second off, 425 would be way too hot to cook a bird that tiny. Probably better just to do him at 320. So there you go. Thomas the Turtle, you keep your basement at 62 degrees so the pipes don't freeze. Always warm in the basement. Yeah, that's in some parts of the country. That is definitely mandatory. And he wouldn't make good eating. He wouldn't make a good meal. He's my buddy. Enough bird baking talk. All right. There you go. Okay. So, all right, we've seen a video of what is going on in Southern California today. We're getting an earful about what's going on in the Midwest, Wisconsin, Michigan area, and the like. But I figured we could maybe revisit those beautiful, warm, golden, sunny days of early autumn in the Seattle area. I don't think I've shown you this holo. So I figure we can maybe, start it. And, so yeah, this is starting off right where, if you remember many months ago, I did a video with going through Queen Anne, and it was a bunch of, it was downtown Seattle and, pretty autumn flowers. No, not flowers, leaves. Well, anyway, this is where that video left off. And so this to the right is Pike Place Market. Tried to get a good thing as I was driving by, but, the cobblestones don't make for good video making. And, yeah, there you have it. So, okay. So Rick is telling me that Darlene is making a turtle bread from her old Pillsbury cookbook that she had copied to give to each of our daughters. I don't know what turtle bread is, but if it's got chocolate and caramel, I would like that. And that's what I associate with turtles. Just pulled the homemade bread out of the oven. Frankly, I don't really care what kind of bread it is. If it's fresh out of the oven, I want it in my mouth. I mean, maybe wait 30 seconds to cool it off. So let's see. Yeah, I know, right? No, I don't think that particular picture was an amateur per se. Hey there, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Good to see you. We are watching a video that I took a few months ago down in Seattle, back in the day when the autumn leaves were still changing colors. I figured with the storm that is approaching the Midwest, we might want to remember days of milder weather. So I figured I would just throw this up here for a nice little visual. Good to see you, though. Let's see here. Oh, yes, exactly. Melted butter on hot bread, Patrick. That is the best. Thomas the Turtle. Yes, thank you so much for subscribing for 6 months in advance. Holy crumb, dude. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is just a bountiful bounty. Thank you so much. Cannot wait to see you here for the next 6 months. Awesome. Yeah, Darlene, are you planning on taking that bread down to the basement? Because I really think that you should take the bread down to the basement. I mean, I don't think you should take the bread down to the basement if you don't have to go down to the basement. And I hope you don't have to go down to the basement. But if you do have to go down to the basement, I hope you bring the bread. Yeah. So just like the last video, on like the left-hand side of the street is where some of the newer construction is going on, and on the right-hand side of the street is sort of the older architecture of Seattle. We're heading south now on First Avenue South into what is known as Pioneer Square. Pioneer Square is without a doubt the oldest section of the city of Seattle, and it is one of the few one of the few places that is, I believe, as a neighborhood, is sort of considered historic, and a whole lot of permits are needed if and when you're going to be messing with and or building buildings down here. That's not to say that the buildings cannot be torn down. Plenty have been. I'm just saying that if you're going to tear down a building in Seattle, more likely than not, if you're in the Pioneer Square District, it's a historic building and you're going to have a lot more paperwork to do. So there you go. So Rick got it all wrong. It was an old cookbook, Alpha Bakery Gold Medal Kids Cookbook. Sorry, you said Pillsbury is the wrong one. What do I know about baking? I don't know, man. But I bet you know, well, what you know about baking is how to eat it up. That's my best guess. That is my best guess. And you've got your crank radio in the wine cellar. Yeah, you know, our last thing that we talked about, emergency prep, getting that crank radio, I really actually need to go do that, because that is crank radio and crank, or, you know, some kind of crank light source, basically, are the two things that I need to get. Yes, Rick, thank you for thanking Thomas with all the super stoked hypes and loves. Exactly, that's how we feel with that particular action. Subbing is always much appreciated. And Pinnell, you've lived in a few basements. Yeah, you know, in my house growing up, it was a finished basement, so you could live in it, but it was also underground, so it was way colder than the house usually. In the summertime, it was the best place the house to be, but sometimes when the power went out in the winter, being in the basement was actually the warmest place to be, because it was, you know, it might have been like 50 degrees warm, but it was warmer than the 35 degrees in the upstairs, as it were. Yeah, I like living in the basement, actually, because it's a little bit dark, and in the summertime, it's a lot cooler than, well, almost any place else. So, yeah. Crank radio, flashback to ghetto bars and those people. I don't know if we're talking about the same crank, Patrick, but maybe we are. So now we're hitting the stadium district, and on my left, your left, whatever, on the left, that's the baseball stadium. And I managed to get through this particular neighborhood like right before stadium traffic started. I didn't realize there was going to be a game that day. I had no idea. If I had, I would have not chosen this route. But alas, I did, and I lucked out. Oh yeah, Pinnell, totally. Actually, that's what my heating system is. My heating and AC system is a heat pump from the air in from the underground to both cool and heat their house. I still don't understand how it works, though. I mean, I don't understand how 50-degree air warms my house to 70 degrees. Like, I don't get it, man. It confuses me. So let's see here. Pocola T, freshman year of college, got assigned room 001. Thought it was a mistake, but it was an actual room in basement. Oh, wow. Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. That's actually, okay. Yeah, medium 7-Up. Yes, you do spy Krispy Kreme, and I had to look to make sure it wasn't hot now, because if it was hot now, I would have made a left and gotten some, but it was not. But back to Pocola T. Your room in the basement. 1, did you have to share it? 2, were you by yourself? And 3, honestly, dude, having the room 001 is almost as cool as having the room 007. So, I mean, was it, like, tell me the room was acceptable, because I want to like this room. I really do want to like this room. So there we have it. Yeah, Darlene, this part of town is super, or I mean, Seattle is a very pretty place. And yeah, the trees are super pretty. I can tell you right now, if I had done this very, very, very same drive today, it would have looked completely different. The rain was quite chunky as it was hitting my windshield, if you know what that means. And, oh, and here I'm getting in a shot of Starbucks World Headquarters. So that little building that's actually very tall and big, yeah, that's the world headquarters for Starbucks. So let's see here. Patrick says, you were just down by Mercer Avenue today with your client for a doctor appointment. Yep, I bet you were. Plenty of doctors up there in that area. And I do not envy your drive today, especially today and in that neighborhood. Because that neighborhood is hectic when it's, you know, traffic-y, and it's always traffic-y. And see, Honda, I don't think I said hi to you when you came in earlier. I think I was busy talking about other stuff. So thank you for coming in. Good to see you. And yeah, see, Honda, we are all thinking about Rick and Darlene and Elaine and Ann Ware, everybody who's potentially in that Midwest storm swath. I am more concerned than I normally would be. Just because of what happened in Kansas earlier this week, I think we can all appreciate why it's like, no, don't be too stormy. So, yeah. Now, up here on the left, if you might notice, maybe you don't, there is this little lot right in the middle of buildings that was all, like, wired off. And by wired off, I actually mean fenced off. I used to work in that lot. However, at that time when I worked there, it was an actual building, and it was the oldest building on the block, and it collapsed in, I think, the 2006 earthquake that hit the Puget Sound area. And it just so happened that I was not at work that day, which is very good because the area that I sat in the front office was the most noticeably damaged and collapsed part. The building was brick, so I'm really, really, really happy that I wasn't in the office. That being said, I think I've shared with you guys the story of where I was during that earthquake, and it's a little inelegant. We'll just say that, you know, I was sitting on a throne and in no position to leave said position, when suddenly the house starts to hop up and down, like for longer than I care to admit. I don't, forever. The house hopped up and down forever. And then when the house stopped going up and down, the house then started doing this. For how long? Forever. Yeah, so that was a ride, to say the least. Luckily, the house survived. Where I worked, not so much. Yeah. So now we're just heading south through the industrial area, heading to West Seattle, because you see the one and only bridge that connects downtown Seattle to West Seattle has been closed for the past year and a half because it's like fallen apart. So West Seattle used to be a pain in the arse to get to, and now it's a royal pain in the arse to get to from downtown Seattle, which is why I'm really glad I never have to leave the West Seattle Peninsula, or very little. I don't need to leave it very often at all. Okay, so Patrick, you were talking to your client about all the graffiti in Seattle and wondering why homeless buy so much spray paint and not food, clothing, etc. Well, first off, I think that you're conflating the two issues, and they're completely unrelated. The homeless people aren't the ones who are graffitiing, so there you go. Yeah, they're not the ones who are making that. There's plenty of artists, plenty of gang members, and plenty of anarchists and activists who are the ones who are making the art on the street. And without a doubt, it is not the homeless folk that are spending any of their money on spray paint to do anything like that. I can promise you that. They might be spending money on tarps, but they're definitely not painting up the city. Yeah. So let's see here. Oh, good. You lived through the company party. Excellent. That's good to know, Shock, because company parties can be a little hectic and difficult to deal with. And that's right, it is the season. I had to remind myself that it's actually, December 15th. It's almost that holiday. That's such a big deal. I kind of, I live by myself. I just have cats. The cats don't know how to read a calendar. I kind of forget sometimes just to get in the holiday spirit or something. I forget that there is a holiday spirit to get into. I don't know. Oh wait, what? Hold up. Your company party was at a rowdy biker bar and the tattooed scary Santa party was fun to watch from a distance? Well, I want to go to that company party. That sounds like a way better company party. That sounds like a company party I would totally go to. I would fit into. Yeah, why wasn't I invited? Especially if it was a virtual party? Oh, wait, I had something to do. Oh, that's right. I have a stream that I'm supposed to do. I suppose that's what I was doing. There you go. Okay, fine. That's cool. You didn't have to invite me. I was busy anyway. Kwanzaa, yeah, does anybody celebrate Kwanzaa anymore? I know that it used to be like a really big deal, but it's also, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really hear about that much anymore. So it was at a real rowdy biker bar. So you actually went, I guess this is what I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around, and this is really my problem and not yours. Like, what? You left the house? You can do that? You left the house? Wow. It didn't occur to me that you would have left the house to go to an actual bar. That sounds awesome. Okay, so medium 7-Up coming in with some knowledge. Music teachers still got to include Kwanzaa songs, but only ever met one family who celebrated. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'll be the first to admit I don't have a lot of black friends with kids and black friends that have family gatherings, etc. So what's going on in the black family scene, I cannot say, but I can say that most of my black friends do not celebrate Kwanzaa. So I kind of forgot that it even flipping existed. But like I said, the people that like. My friends of any color aren't like the stereotypical, like normal family people. So, my demographic is, I guess, not like the norm.
Turn it up.
Let's see here. Shakalak. Oh, that's funny. You retain your streak of being told you can't answer any more trivia questions. Well, why not? I mean, you were playing individually and not a team? Because I'm thinking if you were on my team, I'd let you want to, answer all the. I mean, were you getting them right? Like, come on then, keep answering them. But I suppose if I was competing against you, yeah, I'd want you to shut up too. I want to get something right. I want to get some right. But yeah, what were they like? What did they tell you to do that because you were winning? I mean, that just seems like that doesn't make sense. I mean, like, you're in a competition and you're telling the winner to stop doing something that's making them win. I don't get it. Rick, yeah, my friends aren't normal, right? That's sorry, friends. If if you're my friend, you're probably not normal. Sorry. Oh, okay. So yeah, they didn't want you. Yes, you're winning. They just want someone else to get a chance. But I don't know, man. I'm still not okay with that. It's just like, well, you what? I mean, you want Tom Brady to stop being Tom Brady just to give somebody else a chance? That's sort of silly, and it really pains me to use Tom Brady as an example because I don't really like him. But the thing is, I admittedly have to admit, that was from the Department of Redundancy Department. I admittedly have to admit that he is good at what he does. And this is actually why I'm admitting it. My pretend fake husband named Richard Sherman, he plays on the same team as Tom Brady now. So even though I don't like Tom Brady, my pretend imaginary football player husband, Richard Sherman, is on his team. So I have to pretend that Tom Brady's acceptable. So Thomas the Turtle, Tom Brady just wants to keep playing ball, but he's so much older than his teammates. He can relate. Yeah, well, I mean, he is older than most of his teammates, which is why what he does, as much as I want to, diss him because he bugs me, I can't. I mean, like, he's in football player years, he's flippin' ancient, and he's still winning Super Bowl rings. So I can't help but show the man a little bit of respect. I mean, I don't want to, but I have to. Medium, they asked Mark O'Connor to stop competing for a national fiddle competition after he started entering at like 14 and won for years and years and years in a row. I guess. So, yeah, Shock. Oh, I've never mentioned my pretend fake husband, Richard Sherman. Yeah, my pretend fake husband, Richard Sherman. He's had a rough couple years, this year in particular. But yeah, he's my pretend fake husband. That's exactly it. And yeah, Patrick, that is exactly it. Tom Brady is the one who plays with deflated balls, if that helps ring any bells for Shock, which it probably doesn't. But regardless of that scandal, which honestly I think has more to do with, oh my God, am I about to like go on a defensive rant for Tom flippin' Brady? That makes me uncomfortable. Okay, so, but I do have to wonder if it was more that tendency to cheat using the underinflated balls. I have to wonder if that was a Bill Belichick thing more so than a Tom Brady thing. Seems like the coach for the Patriots was skeevy, and there you go. That is me, sort of defending Tom Brady, which makes me uncomfortable. Yeah. So, Shakalak, are you sure it was me drinking the beers? And I have not had a beer. I have not had any beers today. And, yeah, medium 7-Up. See, okay, exactly. Ha ha ha. Once again, this is for the point and laugh ha ha emote. Teach us about football. I can't even. I don't, yeah. Richard Sherman has pretty dreadlocks. Like that's what am I supposed to say about football? I don't know. I know nothing. Actually, that's not true. I do know something. Oh, God darn it. This is embarrassing. Okay, so Tom Brady. That's right. Talking about Tom Brady still. God dang. When I heard that he got sent to the Buccaneers, I kind of had to laugh. Elaine, you're in Oahu. I was getting you and eMusic confused because your silly avatars, your names, it's eMusic and then ET. I apologize. The back of my head gets so confused in my head about who is in which state. So, super stoked, Elaine, that you are in the beautiful Royal Kunia, Oahu. Weather is sun with rain showers. Sounds fantastic. Oh, but you do have a headache from the weather changes, like barometer brain. My ankle's like that. I totally feel ya. So you're in bed listening, K lurking. Okay, good. Excellent. I'm so glad that you're K and that you're okay lurking and everything is good. So let's see here. The let's see here. Wait, hold on. What are we talking about? The Haas's bouncer. Oh, and good. The Haas's bouncer had good shoulders and good dreads. There you go. So, okay, on with my incredibly embarrassing Tom Brady booster, whatever. All right, so I thought it was funny and silly that the Patriots gave him, or actually, no, because the Patriots gave him up, I totally thought, like, oh, well, he's probably washed up, whatever. So he's going to the Buccaneers, and, the Buccaneers, I don't know much about them, but I know that if I don't know a whole lot about them, that means they're not probably doing very well, because everybody talks about football and you hear about the teams that are doing well. So I sort of laughed it off and was like, okay, whatever. Well, then when I found out the Bucs were like going to the Super Bowl or in the playoffs or whatever, I was like, wow, that's kind of a big deal. But then I was just like, okay, well, he's still not going to win another ring. But then I found out that not only had that the Bucs didn't just sign Tom Brady, they signed Gronk as well. Now, I know enough about knowing enough, even though I don't know anything. I know enough to know that Brady and Gronk together, oh, well, no, that's a horse of a different color. Like, there's no washed up when those two are working together. And so the moment that I heard that Gronk was on the team, suddenly I was just like, I mean, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, right? I don't. But it's the moment that I heard that Gronk was on the team, I had no doubt in my mind that they were going to win. I actually don't know if they won the Super Bowl, but I think they did. Didn't they? Or at least, I mean, I know they went to the this is last season, but they went to the playoffs, didn't they? I mean, they won, didn't they? Am I making all this up? I don't think I am, though. I mean, I know I'm not making it all up because Gronk and the guy I was just talking about, Tom Brady, are on the Buccaneers, but I'm pretty sure they won, didn't they? Are you serious? Like, nobody here on this thread is a football person enough to be able to tell me who won the Super Bowl last year? Because if that's the case, I consider my audience the best audience in the flippin' world. We are the best people. We are the best group of StatterBox crew ever. Yes, nobody knows. Awesome. See, this is the most beautiful thing. I know, right? See, Honda, chatter with the sports. Yeah, chatter with sports statter. Yeah, I'm basically making stuff up. And yeah, I know this truck is really annoying. Let me tell you, I was super, this light is annoying, Patrick. But because, okay, so do you see in the other corner, on the upper, right corner, that roadway, that overpass? Yeah, that's the West Seattle Bridge. And, it's broken. They won't let us on it. So, medium 7-Up. It was the Springfield Mallards. They won the Super Bowl. Okay, first off, and the Grey Cup, Winnipeg won the Grey Cup this year. I don't know what the Grey Cup is, but I can tell you right now, medium 7-Up, the Springfield Mallards, that is beautiful. Did you just make that team up off the top of your head, or is that just the generic team? Because how many Springfields are there in the United States? I think a quadrillion. We've got Springfield, Oregon. We've got Springfield, I don't know what, Illinois. I mean, there's a lot of Springfields. And then the Mallards. I mean, who doesn't love a Mallard, right? So, Springfield Mallards. I think I might use that as the generic. You did just make it up? Awesome. Yeah, I think there's a Springfield in almost every state. That's what makes it so perfect. I might have to steal that term just as the generic sports team, as opposed to, I think in roller derby when we tried to, when we were talking about two theoretical teams, let's see, it was Toaster City versus something. I know that Toaster City was always was one of the fake teams that we always used. So, and I wish that I had more multiple resolution quality choices as well. It's truly up to Twitch, and it is somewhat random. I mean, it's not totally random, but for all intents and purposes, it's random. And yeah, medium 7-Up. I'll bet you there's not a Springfield Hawaii, but I don't know. Does somebody else know? Does anybody else know? And yeah, Patrick, that's exactly it. Springfield. Springfield, Oregon is where Matt Groening grew up, and that is why he chose Springfield as the name for the town. I know I had a friend who was from Springfield, Illinois, who insisted that it had to be Illinois because Illinois, or I don't remember what his logic was, but it was just like, boy, you don't know your Simpsons lore. So yeah. Let's see here. Okay, Rick, excellent. Milwaukee Bucks are the 2021 NBA champs, if that was the question. No, but I didn't know that, so there we go. But who was the Super Bowl champs? Do we know? Do we know? So let's see. Yeah. And I don't know why they do that. Or rather, okay, this is what I do know, Anne. So, they only have so many streams allotted that allow for the resolution check or the resolution options. And so anybody who's affiliate will, no, that's a lie. Anybody who's a partner, the partner is like the upper mucky muck, most big wig thing you can be on Twitch. If you're a partner, you always get the gears. Or rather, the gears that do something. But then after that, if there's more slots left over, because there's not, say, as many partners streaming at that time, then they divvy them out. In theory, the affiliates get them next, and then whatever. But basically, if and when the affiliates get them, it ends up being based on whether or not there's enough partners using them up or not. And so that's one thing I know. Now, another thing I've noticed, and this is an experience that makes no sense, but last week I did an experiment on StatterBox at the cinema on Saturday. Okay, well, before that, I had been purposefully broadcasting on 720 only, and for like 2 weeks at the 720, people were reporting that they were able to get the gear and they were able to adjust the resolution. So on last Saturday, I was like, okay, well, what if I upped it to 1080? Will we still get the gear and be able to adjust? Turns out, no, we were not able to. So then midstream, well, not midstream, but at the beginning of the stream on Saturday, I can't remember if you were there or not, I stopped the stream, adjusted my output, and then restarted the stream. I adjusted the output to 720. I downgraded it again. And lo and behold, the gear showed up, and you were able to downgrade. So, like, when I broadcast on 720, somehow the options are there, but at 1080, they're not. However, see, and now here's plot twist. Today, when I'm broadcasting at 720, there's no option for anybody to downgrade. So it's truly chaotic. I have no idea. I really have no idea. But what I do know is Patrick just donated 100 biddies, and I am absolutely stoked to see that. So thank you so much, Patrick. Yeah, Rick, exactly. Tonight, it's at 720 with no lower resolution available. That's what that's what confuses me, because I don't remember who. I know Miles was here on Saturday when I did the thing, because he made a comment about my funny face when I stopped the stream. So at 1080, we streamed. There was no resolution options. Switched it to 720, which was just seconds after I was in 1080. Boom, resolution options. And now I'm at 720 and there's no resolution options. So I guess there's just more people. So Shock's coming in with some guessing, which is probably as close to reality as we're going to get. Shock says, I bet the transcoding capacity for 720 is more likely to be available because it's just easier to process the smaller data stream no matter what. But the more streamers who are on, the less likely you would be to get lucky. So There we go. That's as good as we're gonna get. And where are you starting up a new word like we have with goof morning? Is weird now gonna be weirf? Because weirf is a really, really good substitute for weird. I'm liking it a lot. Uh, 720, is that like 420 in 3 shots? Well, now you're speaking my language, Patrick. That sounds like a good time. But no, it's resolution or something. It's something techie. It's not something fun. It's something techie. I don't really know. Shot can probably tell you. It has something to do with internet speed, maybe something like that. Broadcast resolution and quality. It has to do with broadcast resolution and quality. That sounds like a good thing, right? That sounds like I know what I'm talking about. I don't, but it sounds like I know. Oh, I cannot believe I've forgotten this. Yeah, exactly. Medium 7-Up. I like your brevity and succinctness. It has something to do with the internet. Let's just leave it at that. That's exactly it. Let's just leave it there. Okay, so no, we're not going to just leave it there. Shot comes in with realities. Bigger the number, the more data you have to send, and the more memory it takes to change any of it. Okay. Yeah, I like your idea way better too, Patrick. Like I said, that sounds like, sign me up. That sounds like a good time. Let's do it, right? Yeah. So exactly. Shots. I don't know who does that song. I feel like Lil Jon is involved with that song somehow. But I really do enjoy that song, even though it's probably 15 years old at this point, showing my age. My party song is 20 years old. Yeah, there you go. But hey, okay, so I know you guys have not been waiting with bated breath, but I'm still going to tell you anyway. Part infinity of the Dishwasher saga is in process. So I took some videos, took some pictures, I did the things, I did the that's, and I did the review of, they kept asking me to review the product that I got. So I sent in the review and they wouldn't post my review because it was focused on shipping errors. And that kind of annoyed me because the review form that I submitted was all about whether or not you would shop at this place again. And it's like, well, if you can't deliver me the right part, that is something to take into consideration when you're choosing an online shop. Like, if this online shop doesn't even know how to get me the right part, then I'm not going to use the online shop. And you're asking me to review my experience as a shopper. So they wouldn't accept my review, and they could give me no guidance on how to get the problem fixed. So I tried to call customer service again, and of course I ended up in the call center in India again. And this time the guy was kind of pissing me off because he refused to believe that I even ordered the proper part. And it's like, first off, dude, if you listen to the problem that I outlined for you, you have to understand that the problem isn't that they didn't send me the right part. They did send me the right part. Or rather, somebody thinks they did, because the bag that the part came in is labeled as the part that I ordered. But what's in the bag isn't the part that I ordered. So I had to he was like, well, I need to know the model of your dishwasher to make sure that you even ordered the right part, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, we're not going to go there. No, I'm not even giving you that information. What I need is I either need my refund for $184 or you need to send me the right part, and this is where the problem lies. So he's like, okay, well, I'll refund your money and I'll send you a return label, and once we get the parts from you, we will refund your money. At which point I said, no. And he was like, I don't know what you mean. I was like, no. You have sent me two $10 parts, and I was like, you just told me, dude. I have a $184 part on order. You have sent me two $10 parts. I am holding these $20 worth of parts hostage until I get my refund or I get my right part. Once I get the proper part, I will return the wrong parts. Well, he didn't like that at all. So he put me on hold, and then he came back and he's like, okay, well, I need to talk to my manager. And it was like, yeah, you kind of do, I think, you know? So he talked to his manager for quite some time. I don't know what's going to come in the mail, but they decided they were not going to refund my part, but they would send another one, but this time with a note explaining just what is wrong. And it's like, I have been trying to explain to you the last several times that I've called just what is wrong. Why didn't you guys do this to begin with? So, third part is in the mail. And yeah, we'll see if I get a unicoupler or if I get a valve adapter. Valve adapters, by the way, run anywhere from $7 to $23. I have two of them now. Unicouplers run anywhere from $175 to $300. So, I'm holding hostage. I'm holding GE parts hostage. That's right. I'm a horrible, horrible, horrible person. And, Rick is like, now don't do this, but YouTube has Flowerpot heaters for prepper heating system. The Flowerpots, you know, everyone, all the people who are like involved in heating in HVAC think that those Flowerpot heaters are a stupid idea. But quite honestly, I don't think they're that dumb of an idea, because I have, spent many a day in cold, no heat situation, and just regular candles can heat up a room. I mean, not significantly to, you know, your toasty warm, but to take the chill off. And so if you've actually got something that is heated up enough to be radiating heat, I don't know, dude. I actually think that they probably, I mean, I'm not suggesting that it's a cheap alternative to heating your house on a day-to-day basis. But I do think that the heaters, the Flowerpot heaters, there's some physics behind it. I mean, I don't know. I think that if you've got the materials on hand, it doesn't hurt to try it. And it's not like it's going to be any more or less dangerous than a regular flippin' candle. You know, I mean, during a power outage, I had a fluffy-tailed cat who practically set the house on fire once with a candle because her tail caught wind of the flame and suddenly her tail was on fire. Luckily, she didn't realize it, and I was able to grab her and put the tail out before she did. But had I not grabbed her and had she gone running through the house, setting every piece of fabric on fire, trust me, you guys, the potential is real. It would have been a problem. It would have been a problem. Yeah, okay, so now Rick, the Flowerpot things do get really hot, which is sort of the point. And yeah, you don't want to like put them where you can accidentally touch it or anything, but I actually don't really know if it's so much more dangerous than a regular candle. I don't see why you wouldn't burn them indoors, Rick, though, because I mean, all they are is just candles. I mean, people burn candles inside all the time. And I personally only use like beeswax candles because most other candles are petroleum based and you literally are burning oil in your house, and it does cause indoor air pollution, whereas the beeswax don't, or as much. But I mean, shoot, Rick, you know, people burn candles in their house all the time, so I don't really know if it's I mean, certainly from a fume point of view, I don't really think it's that much more dangerous. So, but no quote me, right? Yeah. Devin, thank you so much. Yeah, I was really getting frustrated. Honestly, the guy on the phone really made me angry when he was implying that I didn't even order the right part. And I actually had to say to him, I was like, listen, sir, I am intimately aware of just what the part is supposed to look like. And the part that you gave me is not the part, I mean, I just went off because it was like, man, I'm the one doing this repair. If you think that I just mistyped in a part number that was wrong, when I have explained to you twice now, the part number that came, the part number that I ordered, how they're in two different bags, how the bag is mislabeled, and now suddenly I ordered the wrong part is where your brain goes to all of this? Go to flippin' India, man. I mean, geez Louise. So, yeah, exactly. And I hope that the notes that they put on my account make somebody, a human, go and look. And that's the whole thing is like the problem with the problem. I don't really blame the person who shipped the part, because as far as the person who put the part in the bag and labeled it and mailed it, as far as all of the numbers that they are working with, they did what they were asked. Because the part number on the outside bag is the part number that I'm looking for. It's just the other bag that's inside that actually has the part has a different part number entirely. So yeah, I hope that somebody figures out what the flying fork happens. Because, I mean, unless you know what a unicoupler looks like, why would you question what the bag says? I mean, the moment you know what a unicoupler looks like and the moment you see the bag, you're like, well, that's not going to be right. But I don't expect everybody in the factory warehouse to know what each individual dishwashing part looks like for every appliance. I mean, that's sort of silly, right? Oh, Devin, you've got your crock pot in your room cranked to 13, and it does help. Yeah, all the little heat, the little heat bumps can really add up in a room. Okay, now Rick can burn the table too. Okay, so yeah, you'll probably want to have, fireproof layers. All right. But also, though, you can't really do crockpot for heat, Devin, and as Darlene points out, crockpots cranked up can be dangerous too. But if the power's out, you can't really. Crockpot's not really going to do much. So, oh, really, Patrick? In a pinch, a crayon will burn for 30 minutes. That's actually kind of good to know. That's really good to know. Let's see here. You had. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Okay, Rick, you had an old tube TV with a glass candle embedded in the top. It melted into the top. Yeah, I can see how that would happen, actually. Yeah, okay. And where you used to make sand cast castles with old... Let's try that again, shall we? Anne says, we used to make sand cast castle. Can't... Really? All right, yeah, She's talking about candles, not castles. Candles. Let's try again. We used to make sand cast candles with old crayons. Now my question is, Anne, what are those? I don't know what you mean, or do I? Is that when you melt down the crayons and then pour different colors, layering them? Or what is that? Is that what... Can you explain? Thank you. And yeah, Darlene, actually, having a crayon on hand to start a fire in a camping scenario, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah, unfortunately, I wonder how your experience would have been if my voice was an octave lower. Medium 7-Up, you I wish I could say you're barking up the wrong tree, and I wish I could say, I don't know what you're talking about, and I wish I could say, that didn't even cross my mind. but I cannot say any of those things because I think that you might be right. Rick, actually, okay, so Rick, you have such a good question, and I offered. So Rick says, can you photo the eaten part and screenshot the ordered part and send it to them? I offered. I have it on my computer. I was ready. I was willing. I was able. I was like, is there an email address I can send this to you so you can see what I'm talking about? Nope. Because otherwise I would have. Because that's exactly it. Like, a picture is truly worth 1,000 words at this point. Like, if I could just have shown them, look at the picture where, because I have a picture where the front of the bag has the outer part number, and then the part number on the inner bag is also visible, so you can see they're not matching. I have the picture, man. Yeah. I wanted to do it. Oh, and where? Okay, so I am totally not on the ball with what the sand casting candles is. So Anne tells me you make a shape in sand and then the melted crayons fill the shape in the sand. You can do layers, but color layers are better in a cup or other more solid mold. Okay, that makes sense. I knew what you meant by mold. No worries there. This is a spelling-free zone. Unless I don't know what you're talking about, this is a spelling-free zone. So Devin says, we don't have any heat where I live right now. It's usually not an issue, but 37 is just silly for California, but I can put layers on and survive just fine. Whoa, dude. Seriously, Devin, it's 37 in where you're at in California? No wonder you're freezing peasing. Yeah, no wonder you're like, yeah, maybe these little candle Flowerpot ideas are not the worst idea in the world. Whew. Yeah, 37. That's not pleasant. Yeah, and I hope that you can stay warm for sure. Okay, cool. Be back later. Maybe we'll see you, maybe not. We're going to be wrapping things up in about 8 minutes. And so unless you eat real fast, Patrick, we probably won't see you today. But thanks for those biddies earlier, and hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. And if I don't see you on Saturday, maybe I'll see you on Sunday. Yeah. Rick, you and I are so sharing a brain. So Rick says, then just Facebook it and share with everybody. If this third, because I'm hoping third time's a charm. If it doesn't, I will be hitting social media. I will be tweeting about it. I'll be tweeting at GM or GE. I'll be tweeting at Sears. I'll be tweeting at anything and everybody, and I will be sharing and blah, 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 and explaining just what a crummy process this has been and how it's, they're basically stealing money from me, which I know they're not really intending to, but essentially, I have $184 out there waiting since July for a part that they keep sending me a $10 part for. And so, yeah, I'm going to give them one more shot, but then I'm going to blast them is what it boils down to. You're totally right. I mean, we are an awesome group here at StatterBox, Chatter with Statter. We're not the largest community online, but you know what? We are a community online. We are. And so suddenly, sometimes that's what it takes. It's a squeaky flippin' wheel, and nobody likes bad PR. And when it comes to online deliveries and online shopping, I can only assume in this day and age that's a nail in your coffin if you can't get that done right. So I would not be surprised if it takes the stupid blasting on social media to get this done. But if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. So there you go. And Elaine, you worked in a motorcycle parts store, ordered the parts and fixed any mix-ups. Med wouldn't talk to me. Let me talk to a man. He will know what I'm talking about. If a guy told me the same thing, they'd believe him. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I really... The first guy that I talked to the first time many weeks ago, in October when I was trying to get the other part, he was confused and useless, but at least he wasn't condescending. Whereas this guy sort of crossed a line, and it was just like, you don't question that. You clearly didn't hear a word I said if the first thing that you wonder is, did I order the wrong part? Because I told you twice, the label indicates the right part was delivered. It's just that what's in the bag is not. So, yeah. Let's see here. Panel is suggesting to Devin, you need a yak wool blanket. Worked for me at night when it was -20 and you didn't want to keep your space heater on. -20, that's negative okay. Rick says, my cabin is like an icebox in spring, so we crank the electric oven to 400 and run it for an hour to take the chill off. Of course, the pizza gets done too. You know, Rick, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, and I might have talked about it on my stream. I don't think I did. But my house, it's a 500 square foot house, right? And so it started out as it has baseboard heater in the living room. It now has an air pump in the living room. And then it has a baseboard heater in the bathroom and a baseboard heater in the bedroom. Usually the one in the bedroom I don't have to ever turn on. But the entire back of the house basically is the kitchen, sliding glass door and kitchen behind this backdrop. And there's no heating option. And I really feel like my house was designed with the idea that the stove would be used as like the heat for that area, because if it's really cold out and I don't have the stove on or the oven on, my house is much more difficult to keep warm, because the entire back half is unheated, and so it just sucks the heat that's coming from the baseboard when it existed or the heat pump. But the moment I don't even have to turn on this oven to like 400. I can turn it on to 150, and it just keeps it enough of a warmth that it doesn't feel like it's a flippin' icebox behind. It doesn't feel like the window is wide open behind me. I am a firm believer in using the oven as a heater. And I know they say not to, but you don't live in my house, so there you go. Yep. And I would think that the stovetop surface would be right to have a Flowerpot heater. The only thing is, I think the Flowerpot might scratch the surface of the stovetop. And I know that a lot of people with those, the glass stovetop. Now, if it was just the regular enameled metal, then we're no big deal. But the glass stovetops, man, people they like to keep those smooth and shiny and looking good. And yeah, exactly. Hashtag GE, C Honda. We're getting our thumbs ready for hashtagging at GE. All, get your supply warehouse in order. Oh my goodness, Devin. C Honda just reminded Devin that she has a small space heater. Oh, you can't reach it though? But Chris can reach it maybe? Perfect. Yes. I hope that the space heater is within quick reach, because 37 degrees is just too cold to have no heat. And yeah, and I'm not looking forward to doing the repair, but at this point it's just sort of gotten to be a level of I don't know if it's like something to prove or just animosity or what it is, but it's just like, I'm going to fix this flippin' dishwasher if it is the last flippin' thing I do, kind of thing. Or really probably what it's going to be is, I'm going to fix this dishwasher or die trying, because I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to fix it. But that's a personal problem. That's just me unsure of my technical capabilities. Cindy Krause, I think that is true. I think that perhaps the guy at the call center that I dealt with was reading off of a script. At least that's what I hope. The guy who, the useless guy probably was too, but the guy who ended up being a little condescending and questioning whether or not I ordered the right part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was straight out of a script. But, I don't have time for that. I just explained to you twice what the problem is. So get your nose out of the book and listen to what I said. But but that's too much to ask for. So yeah. Pinnell, you had troubles at first at the plumbing supply where you worked, but ended up being asked for all the time. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Once you've proven your worth, you're actually probably yeah. Once you've proven your worth, then suddenly they realize, oh, she's better than most of the dudes who used to work here. Yeah, so typical. Oh, shock. Okay, so I wasn't just making that up. I was talking to you about the heat situation in my house. Okay, so yeah, so some of you already knew about that. Let's see here. So Devin says, you think your roomies turned on the oven last night, but you're way at the back of the house next to a huge window. You don't get the benefit though. No. Oh, no, you don't. And next to the huge window is not fun and not going to be good. But, do you have any, stuff? Hold on. Do you have any bubble wrap? Sheets of bubble wrap, because you can, the flat part of the bubble wrap, you can get it wet and stick it to your window. And I've known plenty of people that are really poor and have lived in really, really crummy old leaky window, single pane windowed houses. And bubble wrap on your window, I mean, you have to do the whole window, actually helps insulate. And it's ugly, and yeah, you're not going to want to keep it up year round. But if you happen to have a bunch of bubble wrap, put it up. Put it up. Yeah. So, and where it's become a battle of wills, GE wants you to just buy a new appliance, even though it's one part. That's the problem. Honestly, I don't think it's that, but I do think it's that. I really do think that, planned obsolescence is at play here. And honestly, I was on the verge a couple weeks ago, but I figured I would just give it one more shot. But now, after the last phone call, I'm just I have a little bit of animosity, and I feel like, yeah, we got to get this fixed. I got to get this fixed. Hey, Love Pat, good to see you. We are just now wrapping it up. Cindy Krause next time asked to talk to his boss. I was on the verge of going to upgrade the call, but then he was like, oh, well, I'm talking to my supervisor. And it was like, all right, I'll take your word for it. And I was on hold long enough that I do believe he probably did transfer to, because the thing is when I told him no, because I was like, no, I could tell that really he didn't have an answer for that. People don't just refute. People don't just say, no, I'm not going to do what you instructed me to do. No, I'm not going to do that. But I did. And he didn't argue, but he sure didn't know what to say. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and where yeah, I'm not going to read what you said out loud, but I agree. It's a saying and it's a great one. And Devin, yes, you do have a stash of bubble wrap, and I'll pop a blanket up too. Yes, no, seriously, every little layer helps. And honestly, and you probably don't have this, but one of the oldest old school ways to cover up a window is with brown paper grocery bags. Just tape a bunch of them together, and because it's thick paper, and you're going to want to tape seal it and everything, but you probably don't have a bunch of grocery bags because they're not as common as they used to be. And when I say grocery bags, I mean the brown paper kind, the old school kind. But if you've got those, yeah, I mean basically anything, but the bubble wrap I've heard actually really, really, really helps. So, and yeah, medium 7-Up, exactly. I'm in too deep at this point. It's just I'm throwing good money after bad, gall dang it. I'm going to get this done. Uh-huh. All right. Well, Darlene, hey, you're going to go out and then come back in. You can't get the show. Actually, that's okay because we are already 5 minutes over time, and Cindy Krause is backing up the bubble wrap theory. So So we're gonna, there we go. That will be, and Rick could tape plenty Amazon boxes into the window. Actually, yeah, Rick, if when it gets cold, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So, so that's what we're gonna do. We're wrapping this up with, if you're super cold and you have bubble wrap to cover your windows, that actually works. And I will see you on Saturday, I hope, because we're going to be watching Gremlins. So 6 p.m., StatterBox at the cinema, Twitch. That's 6 p.m. West Coast time, as per the usual. And that is the plan of action. So everybody wish the Midwesterners no wind, and everybody wish the cold California girl Devin all sorts of heat. And that's how we have it. All right. I will catch you guys later. Take care.